The ocean keeps its secrets better than any vault ever built by human hands. But occasionally, just occasionally, it lets something slip.
Aboard the research vessel Meridian Vega, the crew has been awake for 31 hours straight. Nobody is tired anymore.
On the monitors, something has appeared on the ocean floor that nobody expected to find.
Tell me that's not what I think it is.
Lead pilot Marcus Fenn zooms the camera. The resolution sharpens. The light catches something on the seafloor.
It is. God help us flying. It absolutely is. It is. God help us flying. It absolutely is.
The story does not begin here in March of 2023. It begins, in a sense, the story does not begin here in March of 2023. It begins, in a sense.
Dr. Elara Voss, a maritime historian in Lisbon, was chasing a ghost through declassified archives.
In 2015, she found a shipping manifest, most secret, dated September 29, 1943.
Operation Alcyone, 47,000 kilograms of refined gold, and a damage report. A ship sunk with no survivors.
For 3 years, she told no one. She verified. She cross-referenced. There were coordinates.
Then she picked up the phone and called a man named James Calloway.
Calloway, founder of Abyssal Reach, had spent his life finding what the ocean lost.
Good.
How confident are you?
70%.
That's the highest I've ever heard.
2 years of fundraising, $28 million, 14 days of weather window.
February 28, 2023. They departed to find a ship that had been missing for 80 years.
The Meridian Vega, 78 meters of serious ship, carrying a crew and a science team with one purpose.
The heart of the mission. 8 specialists, each at the top of their field, ready for the deep.
Marcus Fenn, ROV pilot. He treated the machines like living things. Tonight, they would be his eyes.
How long to prepare for a dive?
6 hours.
Start at 2.
ROV Triton 1, 2.3 meters of deep-sea explorer, ready to descend into the abyss.
Launch time, 8:14 p.m. The ROV entered the water and was immediately swallowed by the dark.
The descent took 47 minutes, down through 200 meters, then 500, where the world became the color of a bruise.
At 500 meters, absolute black, broken only by the ROV's lights and the ghostly flash of bioluminescence.
80 years of sediment, Priya Nair calculated. Barely a dusting. Enough to soften edges, but not to bury a wreck.
At 2,300 meters, the bottom. A desert at the edge of the universe.
Small, slow creatures moved across the sediment. A rat-tail fish, indifferent, hovered and vanished.
Marcus oriented the ROV and began the search. For 12 minutes, there was nothing.
Left. Come 20 degrees left.
Then Dana spoke. Left. Come 20 degrees left.
The sediment gave way to rust. It emerged from the seafloor slowly, in pieces. First, hull plating, corroded over 8 years. Then a windlass, lying on its side, recognizable despite the deep.
The ship was part wreck, part reef now, colonized by the deep sea's patient biology.
that's the location of the cargo hold.
Marcus moved towards the cargo hold, somewhere in that tangled ruin of steel.
An African-American male diver worked the mole through a gap in the hull, slowly, carefully, inside the wreck.
Marcus positioned the arm and lifted the lid. The camera zoomed in.
Dana made a sound that carried the weight of everything. The years, the hope, and the descent into the dark.
Calloway closed his eyes for 3 seconds. Then he straightened up. Okay, let's do this right.
Priya for a site assessment. Owen for documentation.
Sophia, already on the phone with the legal team.
No, I see no strong pain.
The ship on the bottom was HMT Alcyone's Promise, requisitioned, armed, and assigned to special transport duties.
The gold was a secret payment to Portugal. Churchill himself had signed the order.
Loaded in Lisbon over 3 nights. Guarded. Classified. The ship sailed on September 30th, 1943.
A single destroyer escorted her for 400 kilometers, then peeled away. She was alone.
U-584, operating beyond its zone, found her on the night of October 2nd.
Day 3. The weather window closed early. A deep Atlantic low was coming.
You have 12 hours. Make them count.
Captain Ferreira gave them 12 hours. They used every minute.
The ROVs worked in shifts. Over 4,000 photographs logged. Every visible bar was documented.
The storm arrived early. The ship relocated, running on dynamic positioning for 4 brutal days.
Inside, a tense, pent-up energy. And the phone calls began. Word was getting out. Commercial salvage firms saw the track. They started making inquiries.
The Portuguese government called. Their claim was complex, and the conversation was entirely unresolved.
We found a $750 million diplomatic incident.
First to recover has legal weight. Calloway made a decision Sophia argued against. Accelerate the timeline.
Day 11. The primary lift motor failed at 1,400 meters. The ROV lost control and had to be brought up.
Henrik Sørensen rebuilt the motor from spare parts in 6 hours, fueled by coffee and sheer will.
At 9 p.m., Triton 1 went down again. This time, it would get there. Back inside the cargo hold. The plan was methodical. Bring up a representative sample.
Owen Bright's briefing was precise. Each bar was 12.4 kilograms. The arms could manage 3 at a time.
The first bar, 11:32 p.m., March 23rd. Marcus's hands moved with extraordinary delicacy.
The arm lifted. The bar rotated, its stamp clear, untarnished, looking as if it was cast yesterday. The arm lifted. The bar rotated, its stamp clear, untarnished, looking as if it was cast yesterday.
They recovered 9 bars on that first dive. 9 bars, over 111 kilograms.
Stay.
When it surfaced, the deck crew moved with practiced urgency.
Owen lifted the first bar. 12.4 kilograms. Heavy as a sleeping child.
The stamp was clear. He ran the XRF analyzer over its surface.
99.5% pure gold. It was real.
The Meridian Vega was replaced by a larger ship. A proper, staged recovery operation began.
Over 6 weeks, working in weather windows, they recovered the accessible cargo.
The final count: 3,312 bars and 14 sealed cases. Over 41,000 kilograms of gold.
The $750 million figure was a dramatic underestimate. The real value was over $2.5 billion.
April 7th. The announcement broke across the world like a deep ocean wave.
Ilara Voss, holding the manifest that started everything, became famous overnight. The image of 5 gold bars glowing under conference room lights was downloaded 400 million times.
For historians, it was transformational. Ilara accepted a professorship and, eventually, a documentary.
For governments, a legal labyrinth. The settlement took 2 years. 60% to the UK, 30% to Portugal, 10% to Abyssal Reach.
The sea that morning was calm and grey and very large.
6 months later, Lisbon. Ilara Voss was working on something new.
When you first found that manifest,
The director asked, "What did you think?"
I thought, somebody knows something that nobody else knows. You just know you have to follow where it leads.
The camera turned back on.
Thousands of kilometers west, on the floor of the Atlantic, the Alcyon's promise lies in the dark. Thousands of kilometers west, on the floor of the Atlantic, the Alcyon's promise lies in the dark.
The ROVs no longer disturb her. The sea has returned, indifferent.
But for a few weeks in the spring of 2023, a beam of light fell on something waiting in silence since 1943.
The ship around it, slowly, becomes the sea.
Waiting with the patience of the deep ocean, which has all the time in the world.
In the end, the ocean gave it up because someone asked the right question and refused to stop asking.
The gold came home, most of it. The rest belongs to the deep.
And the story of the Alcyon's promise passed from secret to history.
For James Calloway, it was another major discovery in a lifetime of them. But this one felt different.
Dana Reyes kept the first printout of the anomaly, a reminder of the moment she saw what no one else could.
Marcus Fenn returned to the quiet of his workshop, his machines, and the memory of the deep.
Owen Bright spent years documenting the coins, each one a piece of 3 centuries of history.
A portion of the gold went to museums, a tangible link to a secret chapter of the war.
In Portsmouth, a memorial was unveiled. The names of the 74 were finally read aloud.
Their great-grandchildren placed flowers. The loss, finally acknowledged.
Deke's log remained in the archive. Another piece of the puzzle. Another story.
The discovery ignited a new wave of research. The Atlantic, it turned out, still had secrets.
Billions of dollars in wartime gold remained unaccounted for.
The hunt was on.
Elara worked late into the night. The documentary was just the beginning.
A new thread, a new set of coordinates, a new secret waiting to be asked for.
The ocean keeps its secrets, but sometimes it lets something slip.
And somewhere in the deep, another wreck waited. Patient, silent.
Waiting for the right question.
It starts the same way it always does, with someone staring at a screen, not quite believing what they see.
The past doesn't stay buried. It just waits.
The 11 people in that room would never be the same. They had touched history.
A year of war, of secrets, of a ship that never reached its destination.
Until 2023. And 2023.
The ship itself stayed. A tomb, a reef, a monument.
Her name is gone, worn away by the deep. But her story is not.
The story is in the question, and the question was asked.
The gold was packed, cataloged, and sent into the world. It would travel further than it ever had before.
Some went to vaults, some to museums, some to the families of the lost.
A tangible piece of a story they never knew was theirs.
The rest funded the future. New ships, new research, new dives into the unknown.
A ship named for the historian who asked the right question.
She preferred the quiet of the archive. But she understood the symbol.
The next generation was already learning. The ocean still had secrets.
And they would ask the questions. They would follow the threads.
The past speaks to the present, if you know how to listen.
The deep gives up its secrets slowly, one coin at a time.
This site is irreplaceable. It's a window into our shared history, not just salvage. We cannot allow it to be plundered by private interests.
Henrik retired, finally fixing his own coffee machine. He deserved the peace.
Marcus taught others to see with machines, to feel the deep through a joystick.
Dana became a professor. Her first lecture was always on that single anomalous ping.
The Azores, the gateway, where the story began its journey to the surface.
The wreath rests with the ship now, a silent companion.
They were lost at sea. Now they are remembered.
The ship will eventually be part of the Earth, but for now, she remains.
A complete picture, at last. Mapped, documented, known.
But not entirely known. Some will always be out of reach.
Elara returned to her office sometimes to remember where it all started. There was always another file, another secret.
Operation Merlin. That sounded promising. But not forever.
The questions continue. The hunt goes on.
Calloway watched it all from his couch. He'd been there. He knew.
The Meridian Vega went on to other missions. She carried the memory with her.
A new crew, a new objective. The cycle continues.
And on the bottom of the Atlantic, the Alcio's promise rests.
A home for the deep, a keeper of secrets.
The ocean breathes. It keeps its counsel.
But for a moment, it shared.
And the world listened.
But it doesn't keep them forever.
The ocean doesn't give up its secrets. You have to earn them.
And the ship sails on.